views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hey everyone, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS and Open's BronxNet. Welcome to Open BXRX. We have another fantastic show lined up for you. In fact, coming up on today's show, we'll learn about the one organization, what it's doing to provide and represent for equality and for justice in our community in the justice system. Then we'll speak with the author of a book that's inspiring people to live the life they want and accomplish their goals. Plus, we'll speak with another author, an entrepreneur, and a poet that's using his platform and his latest album to transform the mentality of those in his community and beyond. And then Bobby C has the latest in the world of sports. And then we'll hear from the founder of a fitness studio who will show us how to accomplish our fitness goals in this new year. Stay tuned. All of some more is headed your way because we are now wide open. Everybody, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'm your host, and you're watching Open. It's a live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set, and you can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, we have the Bronx Defenders. Watch out. And we have the Chief of Staff in the house, and he's going to join us to show us what's going on and speak to us about how his organization is fighting to provide representation for our community in the justice system. So please welcome to the show, Wesley Gaines. Wesley, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good morning, good morning. Great being here with you, Dr. Lee.
So you do this, you guys defend holistically. Explain that just a touch.
Sure, so we branded, and the Bronx Defenders is a public defender office that is housed and our offices are on East 161st Street, right down the block from the courthouse. And we have been around now for 23 years, and we branded and conduct our business holistically. And what we mean by saying that we are a holistic public defense office is that we recognize very early on in the founding of the Bronx Defenders that the lives of the clients that we were having were not just mono, criminal case items, but that the system, there's really just one big system, not various systems, and that there are different entrances into the system. So you may have the criminal legal aspect of it, what most people traditionally think as public defenders representing people with criminal charges. But then there are other areas that you may not naturally think of as areas that are driven by systems engagement. So that's the family court system, ACS. That's the housing, that's immigration. So we have seen, and it is now pretty normalized that most public defender offices have various staff that deals with the different areas in this one system that really intersects and push people into, areas of government engagement that are not positive. So for instance, if someone has a criminal matter and they have been in the United States relatively their whole life, they run the risk of being deported if they're not a naturalized citizen. If someone is housing unstable, they run the risk of being driven into our family court system with ACS if they have children. So these systems work together, they complement each other, and they literally work to really alienate poor people, mostly Black and brown people in the Bronx. And that is the work of the Bronx Defenders. We are there with the community to defend them in these various areas of the system.
How have you guys fared so far?
Well, we have continued to operate since the earliest days of the shutdown last March. with the awesome support of our IT and support teams, we were able to transition 400 staff to remote work. So I'm at home. The vast majority of our staff operates from home. We have never stopped representing our clients and being accessible for the community. But it's been a challenge going from in-person work to representing in a virtual way. And very early on, we started making, assessments of what the impact of the pandemic is on the Bronx community and specifically our clients. So we have continued to work, but we work remotely.
What have you found so far during your assessments?
Well, during our early assessments, we found that a lot of our clients and community members had no access to PPEs. So when we were initially being told to wear masks, there was a great deal of people in the community who just could not find masks, who did not have the means to purchase masks. So one of the things that we did was that we acquired masks for them, even to the point where we had staff members who recruited friends and family to make masks, which we then would mail or have delivered to clients' homes so that they can have masks. We also found that there was a lot of food insecurity, and there was a lot of our clients who are already marginally employed who had lost their job and now were having problems paying rent. So we engaged on a level of support that allowed us to really provide micro grants to clients and community members, which allowed them to really help themselves to get the things that they needed under these times.
Can you speak about some of the community projects or initiatives that you're most proud of, that you guys are working on, or something that's coming up?
Well, I mean, I think currently the overarching themes right now in our borough is the pandemic and the response to the George Floyd murder. And we have a long, deep history of state violence by police in this county. We are the county of Eleanor Bumpers. We are the county of Amadou Diallo. We are the county of Ramali Graham. These are things that are etched in Bronx residents' minds. So those are the things that right now are overarching in our work besides our day-to-day work. Our response to the pandemic, I'm very proud of. We have had community members who we have been able to support. We have given out grocery gift cards. We have supported efforts across the city to decarcerate Rikers Island, to make people safe, to make sure that when individuals are released, that they're released in a safe way that doesn't jeopardize themselves and their family members. Like the work we have done around the pandemic, individually, collectively as an organization, and in partnership with other organizations is, I think, is meeting the moment and is something that I'm very proud of.
I know after the pandemic, you'll probably set up where people can come and visit. How are you interacting right now?
A lot of our clients and community members didn't have and don't have connectivity, don't have smart devices. So we have made accommodations for them by, in a safe way, allowing them to continue to have their due process rights, adhered to, and get access to our courts and through the different agencies that intersect their lives. We have allowed for certain limited basis for clients who needed it to come into the office to access technology in order to be connected to family, in order to, engage the family court system and try to get their families reconnected. So there is, that accommodation that's available, although we do not, offices for all intents and purposes are closed.
Yeah. Wesley, do you have a follow-up program where, after they come out, you work with them, but you stay with them every step of the way? You go on to help them find jobs and
we have a reentry team and a community engagement and outreach team. We have community organizing. We are literally connected to the Bronx. A vast majority of our staff live within walking distance of the Bronx, still more a Bronx residents. So we are invested in the county. We work with those who have been formally systems engaged and seek to help them to become, civically whole again, which is not an easy thing when we think about all of the barriers that we have allowed our society to erect in the way of people who have, erred at some point in their life. But we continue to support our clients and community members, helping them to understand their rights under the Fair Chance Act, helping them to get their criminal histories, commonly known as the rap sheets, cleaned up because those are rife with error. So we continue to engage our clients and community even after their direct representation has ended.
I like it. 2021, how does it look? What are we doing?
2021 is more of the same. We continue to innovate. We continue to look at, how policies and laws impact poor people in the Bronx and look to mitigate that. One area of our work right now, which is growing, which for 2021 we want to expand, is our early defense work. And our early defense work entails if someone has some level of police engagement or someone has ACS show up at their doors, they're able to reach out to us and we can help them very early on before cases are filed. We can help them. I mean, we take for granted that those with means have the ability to have a lawyer reach out to the police departments if there's a desire to engage them. We take for granted that those with means can have representation reach out to ACS to find out what exactly is going on. Those things we recognize would really help to enhance the life of the people in the Bronx. So this unit, our early defense team, we're looking to build that out for 2021, but really we're continuing the work that we have always done, which is to follow our clients, into the different spaces that the government chooses to intersect them and make them less than civically whole.
How do we find you, or if one needs your help? Is there a website?
So our offices, which are closed at this point, are 360 East 161st Street here in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And currently we're working remote, but if anyone wants to get in touch with us, they can reach us at reception@bronxdefenders.org. That's reception@bronxdefenders.org. But they may also call our hotline, our reception line, which is 718-838-7878. That's 718-838-7878. So we are available to the community. Community has access to us. If you have a need for legal advice or legal referral or some level of engagement, please reach out to us. We are here as a resource in the community for the community.
Wesley, thank you so much. We love the work that you guys are doing once again. We appreciate you. Stay safe, stay blessed. Wesley Gaines, he's the Bronx Chief of Staff for the Bronx Defenders. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break right here. We got a whole lot more in store for you right here on BronxNet. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Our next guest is a lifestyle transformation coach, speaker, and author. He's author of the Create Your Life You Love Vision Planner Journal. He's going to join us today to speak about how attaining the life you want can start from a single stroke of a pen and a vision for success. So please welcome to the show, Georgia. Georgia Woodbine is in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You didn't think I was going to go ahead and sing the rest of that song, did you?
I was waiting.
Well, Georgia's on my mind. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us more about what you're doing and how you are doing it with the stroke of a pen and doing it with your vision planner and all of that thing, all of those things.
One of the things I talk about is how we can look at this time that we have to create. And so there's a famous quote that says, whether you think you can or you can, you're right. Henry Ford.
Oh, I use that on the radio, you know. I use that on BronxNet also.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, and it's so true. Whether you think you can or you can, you're right. And let me first start by saying is that I don't teach what I don't know, and I don't lead where I don't go. So everything that I teach, everything that I speak about, everything that I do encompasses around my mission, around what I do, and how I even got to this point of success. And so I firmly believe that we always attract what we think about. So whatever you speak and put out into the universe is what you are attracting to you. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're going to attract it by default because you're putting emotions and feelings into that thing. So one of the things that helped me in life dealing with, loss of a job, loss of my home, loss of my car, dealing with health issues and all the other things that I experienced in my life is really thinking about this. And I always say the most important question you will ever ask yourself is, why am I here? Why am I?
That's a biggie.
Yeah, why am I here? And so I think a lot of people, sometimes in life never even know what their why is or their purpose is or what they're meant to be doing with their life, with their time. And so in life, you cannot think about success and think about the things you want to create, and your thoughts cannot be incapable of what you're trying to create. So you can't think negative if you're trying to make something positive. So one of the things I came up with is, and this is what's changed my entire life. It all started about 16 years ago. I started writing goals down because I always say, like, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not looking at it every day, it becomes like a distant thought. And so 16 years ago, I started to ask myself that important question: why am I here? And I started to write things down. I started to write down goals that I wanted to accomplish. And I started by working my way backwards. I wrote down 3 months goals, and then 6 months, and then 9 months, and 12 months. And I just started to segment my goals and what I was trying to create. And of course, this is the beginning of the new year. Everybody's thinking about, okay, well, what can I do with this extra time that I have? Can I start a radio show? Can I start a podcast? Can I start a side business? Or maybe people have lost their jobs and they don't even know what they want to do. But now is a perfect time to start writing down your goals. Why? It'll help you stay more focused on the positive, because if you keep watching the news and what's going on and the, politics and this and that, you get so sidetracked because now that becomes your main way to focus, and you can't really concentrate on focus on you. And that's really the question. What do you want to do with your life while you're here? And you cannot just spend your time watching what everybody else is doing, because you'll never end up anywhere. So what I decided to do was I decided to create a vision planner journal, which is similar to a vision board.
Yeah.
So the difference is this is like a planner that you walk around with every day, right? So when you open it, you have these stickers, right? So these are positive affirmation stickers to help you. Like I said, what you think about is what you create. So you want to start having these positive words around you. So these are the positive stickers. It comes with about 50 stickers, right? With positive affirmations on it. And this is your planner where your name goes, right? And when you open it, you have a calendar, right? Your calendar, your monthly calendar, you break down all your appointments, things you want to do. And then you have your mind map, which is here. Things that you're trying to brainstorm about. So the stickers are good. So it breaks it down weekly, monthly, things that you're trying to create, and also habits that you're trying to break. Because one of the things we said before is like out of sight, out of mind. So I break down to say, what are some positive habits you want to create for yourself? It could be maybe working out. It could be going for a walk. It could be limiting your alcohol intake. So what are some of the bad habits and the good habits that you're trying to create? So now, once you write all these things down and you go back, now you can do a weekly reflection of what it is that you want to change in your life. And then it has sections of where you can write your goals down. And then it also has another section of who is my accountability partner for this month, so that you have somebody that can help you stay on track with your goals. So I'm very excited. This is a new product I just launched. I'm very excited about it.
All right.
I think it's the perfect time for it, because I think people are at a place where they want change, but they just don't know where to start. And a way to start to change your life is to change your habits. And so once you start writing things down, I always say life is like a garden, right? A garden is a metaphor for life. So you have to ask yourself, what type of garden do you want? What do you want to grow in your garden? And what purpose does your garden serve? So once you start asking yourself those things, you understand that when seeds are planted, and the seeds that I'm talking about you're planting is your goals, okay? So when you plant your seeds, and you first have to grow the roots, right? And then once these roots take hold, then this little small plant will eventually emerge, and then eventually break through the soil. And so what I'm talking about is a metaphor to your goals. Once you start writing things down, once you start taking action, once you start going and looking down and saying, okay, you know what, this is what I want to accomplish. What are the steps that I have to take? Because for goals to succeed, you have to take action. So that's what it's really about.
Plant your seeds and reap your rewards. Harvest time.
Absolutely.
So, but how, a lot of people, they have a rough time. They have that thing. How do you maintain that drive to motivate and inspire yourself and others?
Well, it's definitely about, like I talked about, the positive self-talk, because we know we always have two voices, right? We always hear that voice that says, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can make this happen. Yes, I have the ability. Yes, I have the skills. Yes, I have the knowledge. And then you may have this other voice that says, I can't do it. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have, the network. So you have to start to turn down the negative voice and turn up the positive voice. And so speaking positive affirmations, that will do that. It helps to motivate you and encourage you to achieve your goals. Prioritize your life, okay? What are you doing with your time? That's one of the things I always talk about. There are 168 hours in a week. What are you doing with that time? A lot of people say, they don't really think about it like that, but it's a lot of time. So you have to look at where you're wasting time and where you can better serve your time and break that down. Sometimes you're on your phone, you're on social media, you're reading emails, you're doing all these things. You don't even realize how much time you've lost.
Yeah.
Something that's
you have to better manage your time.
Better manage your time, because it's not going to help you with your goals. And also remembering that when you set a goal, right, don't worry about if you don't meet it that first time, but you have to put a date and you have to put a timeline next to it. Why? Because that makes you motivated to achieve the goal. So you can't just say, I want this to happen, and just sit back and say, okay, let's see, when's it going to happen? It's never going to happen. There's a study that was conducted by a psychology professor in California, and it was about, she confirms the importance of writing goals down. And she did a study. She recruited about 267 people from various backgrounds and to participate in this study on how goal achievement influenced, them to succeed. And I think the study showed that about maybe 76% of the participants who wrote their goals down and maintained actions, weekly progress, who took action, had weekly progress. And so it's always about these three actions. One, writing down goals. Two, committing to goal-oriented actions. And three, creating accountability to those actions. So I thought this was so great that she did this study, because it just confirms what I've been saying all along, and the things and the things that I've applied, that I've learned, that actually has helped me to be more successful.
Where can we get more information and information on purchasing your vision planner and other projects that you're working on?
Sure. So this is the Create the Life You Love Vision Planner Journal. But this is a journal. It's a nice size. You can fit it in your bag, you fit it in your backpack, fit it in your briefcase, fit it in your pocketbook. They can go to the website, www.georgiawoodbine.com. And I am offering something too. Once they go to the website, they'll see it. But yeah, they can go to the website, www.georgiawoodbine.com.
There you go. Georgia on your mind. Create the life you love. She's got it going on. She's an author, speaker, and lifestyle coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we appreciate you and love you.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Coming up next, we've got more Open coming your way. Stay tuned. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking it out. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Our next guest is an entrepreneur, author, and poet, and he joins us to speak about his hip-hop inspired spoken word album. It's called Omar, Man of Words, and how he seeks to inspire transformation in the minds of his listeners. Please welcome to the show, Omar. So you've been doing this for some time. I think you said you started this at age 11?
Yes, I first began writing poetry in my notebook when I was 11 years old. And if I had to make an analogy, it's similar to if you've ever had a childhood love, someone that for whatever reason, the relationship between the two of you would never work out at the time. But perhaps later on in life, you meet that person again and you find that you still love them the same way that you did in the beginning. So you make up your mind and decide that, okay, well, if after all this time, after all the ups and the downs and the wins and the losses, I still am in love with this person, then I should give it a shot. And so I've never experienced that for a physical human being, but I have for the craft of poetry, for the craft of music.
Yeah.
And it's always been my aspiration to be a man of words, to use words to inspire people, to transform the minds of people, to tell deep stories, and to thrill people with the mastery of language.
So you're a man of many words. Now, you said you had the love for it, and then did you fall out of it and then come back to it and find out that this is what you wanted to do for life?
Well, yes, because this is Bronx Net. We're in the Bronx. Go out on Grand Concourse, go out on Hunts Point, go out on Tremont, go out on White Plains Road and tell somebody when you're 16 years old that you want to be the greatest poet in the world, that you want to be an independent boss. What would be the response? What would your mother say to you if you told her that? What would your grandmother say to you if you told them that? People would look at you like you were crazy. And so when you have an aspiration in your mind that the community around you is not equipped or prepared to support you in, or you don't have the resources to turn the vision in your mind into a reality, it is something that's discouraging, and it makes it a more uphill battle to bring to fruition that dream or that goal that you're chasing. But the simple fact of the matter is that my drive has withstood the test of time.
So you are following your dream, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. I think it starts with having a vision of who you want to be, what kind of life that you would like to have. The second step after that is accepting it as a possibility. It's possible for you to become that. It's possible for you to achieve that. And then the third step after that is assuming the responsibility for the steps that are needed to make it happen.
So what are some of the things that you had to do in order to accomplish your goal of creating this wonderful album that you have out now, Omar?
Well, I looked to my left, I looked to my right. I didn't see a publisher. I didn't see a record label. So I had to be the artist. I had to write the lyrics. I had to draft a team of people to work with me, a sound engineer, a producer. And then I also had to take off my artist hat and put on a Master P, P. Diddy, Jay-Z business hat.
Be the businessman, yeah.
Exactly. How do I build the enterprise around these words? Because the talent of music, the talent of poetry is something that is worth millions of dollars to people. So I look at it not as a popularity contest, but as building a business. And there are no rules really to winning a popularity contest, but there are rules to building a business. And I follow those rules. So my goal is to impact people.
You are good at spoken word and putting all these words together on an album. Can you give us a quick excerpt of what's in the album?
What if I told you that one night I saw lights? What if that night I made a wish, took a vow, whispered this promise that if I see stars all my life people told me didn't exist? What if I found out for myself what else is out there outside of this inner city? I had a vision, a mindset for success and a list of aspirations. Barack Obama wrote me a letter saying, remember the founding promise of this nation. If you reach for your highest goals in the process, you will inspire other people to do the same. Though right now it seems impossible to win, you can face the odds if David faced off against Goliath, a giant twice his size. Right then I decided if all men are made of the same carbon, if my grandmother came to this country without a mother or a father and she didn't quit, no matter how much mud she had to shovel, if I could do things differently, what's never been done in the history of this family. Yes, if I can get rich off a business like Phil Knight built Nike, Microsoft, Bill Gates, if Jobs and Wozniak did it from a basement, if Malcolm X did it after being in prison, Nelson Mandela made it, if Viktor Frankl survived a concentration camp, then certainly I can do it like hip hop did it. If rappers make millions off words, then this craft is my passport to explore the planet. If I give it my best, take action, and map out a plan.
Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? Omar. Cool.
Yeah, I was inspired by the Rudyard Kipling poem, If. So the concept behind it is, look at your life with an optimism. What if I could be that? What if I was to make $1 million, what would be the steps? Let me just map it out.
Uh-huh.
If I was to build a successful business, what would that look like? If I was to live the life of my dreams, what would that look like? And now let me lay out the steps and let me build up the courage to take those steps. I may not have all the resources at the time, but I project myself into the future and then work backwards from there.
Yeah. But when you're rolling in something, you may not have all the resources in the beginning.
It's a material.
But being in it, you will acquire the knowledge and the know-how. Well, the same thing. You're going to acquire all the things that you need to help you every step of the way.
Yes,
that's just the way it is, because you're in it, you're doing it. And somebody once said, if you want to be successful, get the knowledge of what to do, what to say, how to be. And it seems like you're rolling in that.
Wealth is a state of mind first. If you take the richest man in the world, you can't tell merely by looking at him that he's wealthy. It's what's in between his ears that has made him wealthy. It's his reputation with other people. It's the skills, it's the knowledge, it's the habits, it's the patterns of behavior that translate into, it's not what you wear, it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And then when you take what's in you, and then you go through the process of transforming it into a product or a service that other people can consume and then reciprocate back to you a monetary value, that's how you turn the skills and habits and knowledge that's inside of your ear into ones and zeros.
You have the book and the album. When are they coming out?
Okay, so the book is available now. My thought process was to release the book first as a way of differentiating myself from the typical person that releases music. I don't want to be seen as a rapper because there are a million rappers. So my goal is to be a one of one, to be in a category by myself. And as far as branding is concerned, branding is about pronouncing your differences, emphasizing what makes you separate and apart from everybody else that is trying to get the attention of people. And so that was my goal. And the album is going to be available on all streaming platforms. That means iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, and all of the rest on January 22nd. And I'll have a smart URL that I'll be posting on my social media, my website, and sending out through email to my constituents.
Woohoo! There you go. Omar, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
And good luck with everything that you're doing, and may God continue to bless you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Omar, man of words, we appreciate you. We're going to take a break. I've got more open on the way. In fact, Bobby C has the latest in the world of sports next.
This past week here in the Big Apple, it has been some week for splashy trades, blockbuster trades. We bring in sports reporter Justin Walters of Pix 11 to talk about it. Justin, good morning. How are you?
All is well, man. It's an exciting time to be covering New York sports. Finally.
No doubt about it. It is officially official. James Harden, as a Brooklyn Net, wanted to get your first reaction to the big trade.
Wow. I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to be able to go through because I initially thought once I found out that the Nets and the Sixers were the final two candidates and they were pushing strong. I didn't think first that it was going to happen actually yesterday as reports were coming out. But I thought that the piece of Ben Simmons in Philadelphia was going to be what set them over the edge. But as we're finding out now in, I guess, the aftermath, is that the Sixers weren't willing to trade Ben Simmons, step in the Nets, and everything just was catapult from there. But yeah, Jared Allen, I personally believe that I wanted to keep him as a building block piece because you have players like him, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, as well as even Caris LeVert. They were integral parts for turning around the Nets organization, and you would hope that some of them can stay. Understood, you want to mortgage your future for an immediate instant gratification, and that's hopefully what they're going to get. It's now a championship or bust season. You need to get James Harden, Kyrie, and KD to the finals, and not just get there, but they got to be hosting that Larry O'Brien trophy.
I totally agree, Justin. I think it might compromise what goes on in that locker room, but I'm pretty sure a lot of Nets fans are excited to see the possibility of what this new trio, this new big three could actually be. So I guess it begs the question. The big question will be, can this work? Do you think the trio of KD, Kyrie, and Harden works, especially since right now Kyrie is a big question mark?
A huge question mark. We're still not sure what his personal reasons are, and the Nets have been shut on sharing or disclosing any of that information. It can work, but with a caveat. There's only one basketball to go around. You have two people that are ball dominant, being Kyrie and James Harden. KD can play off the ball. He's a solid defender. But now that I'm bringing up defense, who is going to D interior inside besides DeAndre Jordan? Who you have lining up against Giannis? Who's going to D Anthony Davis? I think that is a serious and legitimate question. Steve Nash has mentioned several times that the defense is behind and he wants to make sure that they're picking it up. But the chemistry, there's just going to be a lot of uncertain things. Sure, we're all excited to see it, but I want to see how it comes together. But yeah, it happened. And I think Kyrie is still a huge question mark because we're just hearing so many rumor mills from retirement on how long he's going to sit out. I'm not going to give any of it, I guess, legs. But yeah, we want to take our time in how we're going to analyze this team moving forward.
Looking back, it's possible that the feeling could be that, Kyrie has the ability to really mess up any locker room. As great a player as he is, and there's no doubt that he is a great player, he brings some other baggage to the table oftentimes for whatever reason.
He does, but I am really walking a tightrope, and I do not want to speculate what these personal reasons are. And I just really don't know what it may be. I know people are sharing that it could be something connected to the Capitol attack, but I do think it's something more. And if it is, I am always a firm believer that your disrespect should be as loud as the apology. So if people are going to come out there and say all these things about him, because Sure, there are things that he has said in the past that have given people reasons to pause. The earth being flat. And I think we can go down the list. The recent shade and stab at LeBron James if he's finally playing with a player who he feels comfortable with taking the last shot. Yeah, okay, we understand. Kyrie's going to come with some baggage, but what star player doesn't come with some baggage, especially in the NBA, where it's just all about me and people worrying about their brand. So I think it's worth it personally for Kyrie. I know some Nets fans were hoping that he was a part of the deal. I don't think Harden and Kevin Durant alone would be able to make the finals and win a championship. That's just my personal belief. I do think Kyrie is needed. This is the new big three. It's always been a league driven by superstars, and they're all in right now.
Definitely going to give Kyrie the benefit of the doubt. I'm assuming that you're probably going to give Harden also the benefit of the doubt because he kind of did the same thing in Houston. I mean, that was a good team the last several years. Even this year, they bring in John Wall, and clearly he wanted out and basically forced this trade. And he made it clear that it was going to be either the Nets or the Sixers. He wanted to play for a championship. He felt that they gave him a better chance to play for a championship. So do you give Harden the benefit of the doubt here?
No, I don't. Honestly, the entire culture and how Houston has molded their organization around Harden, they have asked him to do a lot, but they have also given him a lot of support. Chris Paul, it didn't work out. Honestly, if Chris Paul was healthy and he was able to play in that game 7 and game 6, I think it was a hamstring injury at the time, we may be talking about a different situation, but that's not the case. Then you bring in Russell Westbrook. That didn't work out. You tried the small ball. And then now they tried again to bring in John Wall and maybe Boogie Cousins and Harden. I don't know if he gave maximum effort. The entire culture, we've spoken about that. And I know there have been reports that Russell just wasn't a fan of how some things went down because, you know, Russell is holding people accountable. He's going to be the first one to show up and the last one to leave the building. And I know that there was some speculation, I guess, that based off of what took place in Houston, he just wasn't with it. So he said, all right, I need to go to another team. And then who comes in a couple of minutes after? James Harden. Yeah, I need to go to another team as well. So I really don't. And if we're really going to be on the accountability meter, you have to look at how James Harden has been small in the big moments. His stats don't lie. They speak for themselves. Even if you're going all the way back to OKC, where he didn't want to be the third person on a totem pole, but he was, and he shriveled in that finals against the Miami Heat. It's that flat out.
These days, I get to see on these virtual press conferences. And this week, of course, we were logging in to take a look at what the Mets did. I wanted to talk a little bit about their mega deal. And in baseball, of course, that's the big news. The Mets snagged Francisco Lindor, Carlos Carrasco. Your first impressions about that deal?
I think it's a solid move. It's huge. It's something tangible. There was a lot of excitement for the Mets because of Steve Cohen, and he's delivered. He's very personable, as we've seen on Twitter. But Lindor, as a shortstop, it completes the infield. Now you can move around some pieces and use Jeff McNeil as a utility player, and then obviously Pete Alonso on first base, and then Carrasco. It really completes the rotation. It's perfect. You really have no complaints about it. The big thing you have to be concerned about, though, is that it could be a one-year deal. You would hope that Lindor would have an extension. Maybe they're able to complete it mid-season after this season. But if we're going to parallel it to Mookie Betts, you'd hope it's done before the year, and then a championship would follow. So we're still unsure on how to rate this deal. But initially, I think that there's an overwhelming amount of excitement. You finally have an owner who's willing to spend as if the Mets are playing in the #1 media market. He is the richest owner in the MLB. So, yeah, nothing but positive reviews.
Interesting times, too, because I think most of our Yankee fans here in the Bronx would say that's a trade that normally the Yankees would make. That was something I said on the show this past week. But the Mets now kind of, getting all of the headlines and the back pages with these kind of deals. And the Nets, too, kind of stealing the thunder from the Knicks.
Yeah, if you're going to be frank also, I think it's fair to say that the Mets have had more success in the past decade than the Yankees. Of course, if you go beyond that, you have over 20 championships. But if we're talking about most recent benchmark, the Mets have done better than the Yankees. They've reached the World Series, And obviously they've been to the playoffs the year after. The Yankees haven't been able to get there. They've been to a few ALCSs.
We've been close, though. We've been close.
Yeah, they came close, but we know that the bar is set higher for the Yankees, right?
Absolutely.
It is said you would expect this type of trade for them. And I know a lot of Yankee fans are extremely frustrated with what's taking place with DJ LeMahieu. So as long as DJ signs, I think all will be fine. And then maybe you can add another piece because we're not sure what the rotation is going to look like right now. Sevi coming off another major injury. But yeah, I think there is a reason to pause right now. But I still think that we shouldn't all jump on the bandwagon and say the Mets are no longer the little brother.
I think sports fans here in New York have all the drama in the world because this has kind of become the capital of trades, whether it's the NBA or Major League Baseball. Appreciate you taking some time this morning to chat with us about it.
Absolutely, man. It's always a joy. And hopefully, as I mentioned, some championships will follow. We need to get a parade.
That sounds good. Definitely sounds good. Worth the drama if we can get some parades here in the Big Apple. Thanks for taking some time with us this morning.
Absolutely, Bobby.
Welcome back. Our next guest is a trainer, no stranger to the show. He's the CEO and founder of LH Transformations Fitness Studio, and he's here today to speak about a new and exciting fitness challenge that can help people kick off their new year the right way. So please welcome to the show, Larry Hamilton. No stranger to the show. Here we go.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me back here, Bronx. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. You?
Great. I can't wait to just kick it into gear for the new year. We got so many things to talk about, and I'm just revved up. I hope you're ready for this crazy energy I got coming for you.
Yeah, we're ready. But how do you start it off for the new year? How do you start it off the right way?
The right way is to get part of this program. The right way, honestly, is to get part of a supportive community. Look, there's so many things you want to do for the new year, whether it's financial goals, whether it's fitness goals. I think it's having the right people around you to keep that energy going, right? You get so much momentum, the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We start making these goals. We don't want you to die out. So you want to be a part of a great supportive community, and that's what we're doing.
Sounds like we're having like a mind, body, spirit show today. So it's wonderful.
We're going to do
get the mind
everything.
involved, get the body involved, get the spirit involved. It's a beautiful thing. So you have a number of things back and behind you. You're in your gym. What are we going to start out with?
So I kind of like telling a story through movement. I think movement for me is my life. So I want to talk about how, most of our members, our Fit Fam, they talk about this whole thing of finding balance. Larry, once I find balance, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. But here's what I got to tell you. You got to get good at being unbalanced. So I want to tell a little story up here. And we are recording, so something funny happens, it just happens, right? So being good at being unbalanced, team, is what you want to be good at for the new year. Being unstable, juggling your job, juggling virtual training, juggling virtual working. You want to be really good at that. And once you become really good at that, you can have that fitness journey you desire. Because my belief is this: we're all going to be busy people. If you're about that fit life, wellness life, you're going to take on more things to be busy. So you got to be really good at being unbalanced. That is probably new rule number one. So fitness stuff.
So what do I have to do while you're doing that? Should I undo my tie?
Bob, if you have the ability to work out and get moving, I know you're good with the hands. You have some great boxing technique. I know you're good at that. You can do that. But honestly, I wanted to hop up here to offer some tips to keep people going for the New Year's resolution. I know I'm like kind of being wacky right now, but it comes down to two things. It comes down to, let's keep it like this. Let's say someone asks you, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds. And I always go, why? Like, for instance, if you don't mind sharing, do you have any fitness goals, Bob?
Yeah. Let me see. We've been sitting in, doing a lot of things indoors. So you kind of put on a few extra pounds. My fitness goal is to take off about 5 to 8 pounds.
Perfect example. So what we call those are called your outcome goals. That's what you want out of your exercise. What
Yeah.
we try to get people to navigate to is process goals. What's the process that's going to get you to lose 5 to 10 pounds? Is it going to be working out twice a week? Is it going to be eating clean? Is it going to be having like a peanut butter jelly sandwich with some tea? What's the process you need to take to get there instead of focusing on that 5 to 10 pounds? Because most people ruminate on that goal, and that keeps people going off track, you know?
Right. So what are you going to start out with? What's the first tip?
First tip, you ever done some dips?
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah, so look, people, when you're starting your fitness journey, you need to understand it's going to be very hard in the beginning. I'll be the first one to tell you fitness is hard. So what you got to do, man, you got to push through them goals. So I'm going to push through these dips right here and make sure that you understand that when you hop into your goals, you got to keep pushing. It's just like one of those rocket ships taking off to space. It takes an enormous amount of energy to get that rocket ship off the ground. It takes just about half of its fuel. So when you're starting out, team, you gotta push as hard as you can. You gotta get all that momentum and keep going. It will be arduous in the beginning, but once you get to that altitude where you can soar in cruise control, it gets a little easier.
Cruise control. That sounds good.
But even for the person, like you and I, we can relate to that. But for the person that doesn't get that, like, how can I ever get there? I want people to think about this. This is a while ago. I'm going to date myself. Remember the commercial in Staples? They hit the "that was easy" button. They go, "That was easy" when you hit an accomplishment. Yeah. That's what you want to be doing with your fitness goals. So after you're pushing, you want to find something that is easy for you to do on your work day. So maybe it's walking. Maybe it's not sitting down for so long. Maybe it's having an extra glass of water to get a small reward during those days you're feeling that you're being challenged. You're gonna hit that easy button to keep going.
Yeah. So that's tip number 2, is it? What's number 3?
I think we're on tip 3, 4. Yeah, I got so many gems I'm gonna drop today. So many things. Okay. I really want people to walk away after they finish watching this, that they're gonna get up and do something in regards to their health and wellness. That it will be unbalanced, it will be a big push, but hopefully you can find the, in yourself to just do something real small today towards your fitness goals. Whether it's maybe you're gonna join me for some abs right now. Let's go. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get down on your carpet, right? Whatever it is, carpet floor. If you're watching this at work, right down there in front of your coworkers. And I want you to let me get myself in the shot here. Feet up. And I want you to reach for those toes because you got to reach up for success. Climb up that ladder of success. Keep those toes locked out. We're gonna rock out. Boom. That's all I want you to do. And once you're done, embrace that tension because you're gonna feel a lot of that during your working out for this whole year, and hold it there. And once you're done, team, my legs are straight. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. My legs are super straight. Bring it back up and don't stop this action. So when I did that, my legs didn't drop to the floor at all. And when you come down, maybe you're holding for 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, okay, I can do that.
And you're rocking this out. Now, I actually have a good idea for you. My friends that are seated. You're sitting down, right? There we go. You're sitting down, grab anything. Let's work on that posture if you're seated, right? A lot of people are just working from home right now. Let's take those arms back and up. We could do something really awesome like that. But when you're doing it, notice how my shoulders are super straight and back.
Yeah. There you go. I like that.
I'm thinking about posture. I'm thinking about everything. But I'm also thinking about ways to keep you moving if you are that person that was working out at home. Let's say you're telling me, hey man, I got the kids, I got the dog, I got no space. Here's the only piece of equipment you need. This right here, a resistance band. You get this band going, we can rock out a workout together. I call it the Band It Together workouts. So this is a mini band, monster band. They go up to about, depending what you want to, get resistance, it goes to about $20, okay?
Yeah.
So that's not a big investment for your fitness.
What store do you get it from? You get it from Dick's or from Modell's?
You can get it from there. You can get it from Modell's. You can get it from Amazon, get it shipped right to you, right? You don't have to move. You're still working. And look, we just want to get that range of motion, get those shoulders back for some upright rows, right?
Yeah.
We get the back of the shoulders. And like I said, this is a simple purchase because we want to make things easy. And like you said, you did some bicep curls there. We can turn the palms inward, crank out some bicep curls like that.
Yeah.
Right? So let me move my toys and so you can see my feet here. Let's say you're like, hey, I want to get that total body action. Give yourself a squat, sit into an imaginary chair, push that band over your head. You can see, I just did about 3 exercises. Let's crank out one more for 4, and you do a bent over back or pulling those elbows towards your rib cage for a total body workout.
And what
And once
area does
again-
that get when you're pulling up from the back? That gets the back of your arm,
Get the back of the arm,
triceps.
getting wrinkles in the back of the shirt. See that work? Getting that work back there? You're getting those muscles that make up the word work on my back right there.
So you gave about 5, maybe 6 tips. What do you have next?
All right, I gave a lot of tips. Hopefully it was 6 tips because we have something we're kicking off called the Phase 6 Fat Loss Challenge. We're giving away, this is the best motivator, we're giving away money. We're giving away $1,000.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat that, right? So we're giving away $1,000 to the team that loses the most body fat. Look, the way we do your body fat here, put your hands up there. You ever done one of these? It's called the bioimpedance reader. Boom. Whatever it says there, we do some math at the end. If you win, you and your partner can win $1,000. It's just, sometimes it isn't about the money, but sometimes it really is. People get motivated by that. So that's what we're giving away at the end of our challenge here.
Do you have to go pick up one of those meters first?
Oh, you can come right into the studio. Come right in.
Oh, there you go.
We'll set you up. We'll get you measured. We'll get you set up.
What if you only want to lose 8 pounds?
Shoot. Say that again?
What if you want to lose only 8 pounds?
Here's the thing. We're going to talk about those 8 pounds, that outcome goal, and we're going to give you a process to get there with the process goal. So you will essentially lose the 8 pounds, but our goal for you is to lose body fat. The reason why you want to focus on body fat is because you want to be creating lean muscle. We don't know if you lose 8 pounds, Bob. I don't know if it was muscle. I want you to keep your muscles. You can keep your metabolism high, keep that strength going, and keep you looking strong for the rest of your life.
But you said whoever loses the most weight, what if I want to only lose 8 pounds and still win that $1,000?
That's what you're saying, pounds. We're using only body fat. We're using a percentage
body fat. Okay,
of
got
the
it.
body fat in the body. So I have different before and after pictures throughout my life. I have a picture where I was 185, 28% body fat, definitely out of shape trainer. And then I have a picture at 185 at 11% body fat, looking like I could go to the beach every day. And we want people to take that mindset off the scale. The scale could just ruin you. You could be working so hard, you step on that scale and only lose a pound, but that can articulate different to your body fat.
Got it.
That's what we're teaching people. We're teaching our members about body fat. We're teaching them about being sustainable with their diet, nutrition.
So, in order to lose that body fat, you have to watch what you eat. You have to do some exercising and drink a lot of water.
You got it. That was a good 3 right there.
All right. So how do we get that? How do we win this? How do we go to a website to find out more about it or what?
Absolutely, yes. I would love for everyone right now, take out your phones and go to lhtransformations.com. All right. Get there. People are enrolling right now, so you don't want to miss your spot. If you want to get social with us, LH Transformations, put an underscore between LH and Transformations. Follow us there. We're constantly sharing information, and then that's a faster way. You can talk directly to me right on the LH_Transformations.
Hey man, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right, Larry Hamilton. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you all guests for joining us and you all viewers for tuning in and checking it all out. You can follow us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice, let the choice control the chooser. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. I'll catch you another day, another way. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.